I am the famous American. And just moments ago, as I was setting up the camera, I received a comment from a video I just posted actually in real time. That video being called USA Man sees Morocco as non-white / why the USA is brainwashed to see race. And spoiler alert, the reason we're brainwashed to see race, our government, as well as employers, as well as companies, all have us fill out a form to identify our race and ethnicity. So if you're used to doing that your whole life, and why do we do that? It's to help us to not be discriminated against. That's why, that's the concept behind it, is to prevent further racism. Born in 1981, born after the most racist parts of American history, born into a world where I'm not colorblind, I'm actually the opposite. I'm trained to see color, not to discriminate, but to keep from discriminating against it. Some will say there's some irony involved. So that's what that video is about. Now let's talk about what this video is about. The comment that came through just minutes ago, Trahendo Kaporo left me this comment, quote, "This whole conversation is facepalm. Race is the most random criteria of which some people classify others. It doesn't mean anything. Not from a biological point of view, ideals, not socially, unless you build your whole system around it." So I responded instantly, and here's what I said. I said, race is a fascinating social construct, which is what I will title this video. Race is a fascinating social construct. Many times in the history of this channel, I have openly admitted race is just a made-up thing that people made up a long time ago so that certain people could be discriminated against so that others could prosper from it. That's what race is. It's made up, it doesn't matter. Or does it? See, that's the thing. Born in 1981, I'm not colorblind. I totally see color, and I'm trained to look at a person and think that person likely has a certain culture, a certain set of skills and abilities and talents that I culturally don't have as a mainstream American, and I will appreciate that about them. Not discriminate, but I will appreciate that about them. So let's look at this comment. So the comment says that race doesn't mean anything. Not biologically. See, I instantly disagree because your race may indicate if you're more likely to get a certain kind of disease. So from a biological point of view, I already disagree. I can think of certain races that are more likely to get certain diseases and others that are not. So I already disagree. It does matter in that way. Talking about ideals. Well, it does matter because Black Americans typically have a different perspective than white Americans, as do Asian Americans, etc. Typically, there are these subcultures that exist, and to deny that is actually racist. And that's something that I think people outside the United States have trouble grasping. That whole Rachel Dolezal, or whatever her name was, the lady that genetically was 100% European, but married into a Black family and made everyone think that she was Black, well, it bothered the Black community that she wasn't actually genetically Black, that she wanted to share the struggle of Black Americans without actually herself being genetically Black, even though she married a Black man and had kids with him, therefore her kids were Black. DNA test, she's 0%. So it's interesting because you can't say to a Black American that they don't have a different identity than us. They totally have a different identity. Most Black Americans do, and to deny them that is actually racist towards them. They want to be appreciated for their differences, and that's the concept of modern America, United States. It's not that we don't see color, it's that we totally see color and we appreciate people because of that. And that is where we've come to. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think we need to recognize that. Now, some people you could be a Black American or you could be an Asian American, and culturally you're most like any old white family in Kansas. That could be the case. But typically, you're going to see a certain mindset and a certain culture, subculture, within certain ethnic backgrounds here in the United States. Even an Italian American, you're like, wait, but Italian Americans, they look just like any other white person. Here in the United States, it's different. Have you seen the Rocky movies? Even if you just watch the first 3 Rocky movies, you're going to see this whole propaganda that Rocky's character is openly Italian American. And the commenters talk about it in the fight. His whole nickname is based off of this. So that's something that Americans do, even if it's only a quarter of their heritage. They're going to cling on to that and make that them, part of who they are. They identify that, and that's culturally how we do. So some see it as racist, but then yet talk to an American who's of one of those backgrounds, and they would think it's racist that you are trying to deny them of that heritage. So let me wrap this up here for this comment. And they were saying, not from ideals and not socially, unless you build your whole system around it. Well, that's probably what we've done. We've probably built a whole system around it. We have a very racist history. We're not proud of it. So in an effort to reverse that, this is where we've gotten to a point where we fill out forms constantly to identify our race and ethnicity so that we're not discriminated against. Also, where we openly talk about our ethnic background and we connect with each other on that. Even if we're two white people in the same room and I say, yeah, I've got an Italian background. Oh, so do I. Okay, well, if we're talking about one great-grandparent a long time ago, whatever it was, or one grandparent, that finds a way that we can connect. It's ultimately a thing that, in theory, brings us together more than anything when done right. Your comments belong right here.